Hi, hello. Hi, hello. I'm Dr. K. Pungudi, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce. Now we are going to discuss about the topic deflation. So before slide, we have discussed about inflation. Now we are going to discuss about the topic inflation in a subject managerial economics. So inflation refers to a sustainable decline in the general price level of goods and services in an economy. This means that is a purchasing power of money increase over a time. You can buy more within a same amount of currency. Deflation generally associated with an decrease in the money supply and credit, but it can also occur due to factors like increased production or a technological advancement. From this, you know that inflation means increase in price of goods and services. Deflation means decrease in price of goods and services. This is a major difference between an inflation and an deflation. Here, while falling price must leads to sound goods or consumer, deflation can single deeper economic problem over here. So deflation from the in this definition, deflation means it is an opposite reaction of inflation, which where the price increases, it is subsequently or a situations where the value of money arise, meaning you can buy more within the same amount of money, but it leads to an decrease in a price. That is a deflation over here. It causes due to the decrease in money supply, low demand, increased supply, and also there is an economic downward system. These are all causes for this deflation. So to comes under, we are having a different consequence over here in a deflation. So different causes over here. The first one is decreased spending. So consumer may delay in purchases. Even a low price in a future leads to a decline in overall demand. So that is decreased spending. So the spending of a consumer will comes down. So that is known as decreased spending. Next thing is reduced production. Here the reduced production means business may cut back of a production if a demand is low, leads to layoff and further economic stagnation or a stagnation. So that is a reduced in production. The next thing leads to increased in debt burden. Here the debt burden means difficult to repay the amount in a real value, or a loan increases over here. The amount of services and goods that can be purchased within the same amount of money may decrease over here. So that is known as increased debt burden. That is difficult to repay the amount for, that is known as increased debt burden. The next one is a deflation spiral. In this, it is a dangerous cycle where falling a price leads to the less spending and further drop and so on. So that is known as depletion or a depletion spiral over here. So these are all the causes. These causes are having a different influence over here. The first thing we are telling it that innovation technology, it leads to the causes for deflation. The next point is increase in production. So if we are having a overproduction over there, it leads to a deflation. Next, there is a decrease in money supply. If the money supply in a country or in an economy will be a low, means we can't able to run our things, our business, our goods and services, purchasing power of a consumer, everything will affect over here. So the decrease in money supply comes automatically, we are leads to a deflation. The next thing is increases in saving. They are only saving is there, but they are not spending their money. So that causes also the deflation over here. The next thing is debt deflation. Here the debt means we have to repay the amount over here. So that is comes to a down. So automatically this deflation causes over here. The 5 different causes which makes a deflation is that the first one is the technological innovations. The next thing is increase in productivity, and the third thing is decrease in a money supply, and the fourth thing is increasing in saving, and the fifth one is the debt inflation over here. These are all the different causes for a deflation. Here we are having a deflation. It measures under that consumer price index. This consumer price index means track price of a consumer goods and services. The next thing is whole price index. In this whole price index, measuring price changes at a wholesale values or a wholesale level. So that is known as wholesale price index. The next one is GDP indicator or a deflator or a deflation. It includes the nominal and real GDP of a gross domestic product, that is known as GDP. These are all the three things measures over here. The first one is consumer price index, the second one is whole price index, and the third one is GDP price index or a deflation over here. So these are all the different forms or different causes for a deflation. So the first thing is that the technology, it means increase in an aggregated supply over here, so it causes over it. So these are all the different things which causes a deflation over here. The deflation, how the deflation works means people may delay in purchase, expecting low or a falls of further. Next, the business earns less, leading to cost cut including layoff, etc. Low wages and the job cuts reduce the consumer demand, and there is a regressive or an uneven demand being causes over the low even prices over here. So these are all comes under this low inflation, and it causes the inflation works over here. So I hope that you all know about what is inflation. Inflation means decrease in a price level, so that is known as inflation. It causes a different stages that all we have seen over here. You are all clear about that, what is inflation and what are the causes of inflation over here. Thank you so much.